On great timing. Welcome everybody to RVing in New England, and we have a great show for you tonight, and really looking forward to having Gaelan Bayley with us, and we'll bring him up in just a minute. But I'm reporting tonight from Nervton North up here in Maine, and John, you just got back from motorhome excursions, and you're back in Worcester.
We're back in Worcester. We're just gearing up to go somewhere again this weekend. We don't know where because we had that weather incident last night. So a lot of the places that we're looking at in the southern part of New England are still without power. But the beauty, Bob, and I'm sure you can agree with me, the beauty of having an RV is that you can decide at the last minute. I mean, there have been times when we have gotten to the junction of Route 495 and the Mass Pike, and we said, do we want to go north or south? And we're going to exercise that option again this week.
Riney's on early, and hi, Riney, and Audrey's on. Great to have you, Audrey, and Andy Parr. Great to have you, and Mark Polk jumped on. So they're coming early and often tonight.
We got, let's see, we got at least 4 states. We got northern people, we got southern people. Audrey's with us the whole show, so we're going to ask her about places where she's been.
She got to take her group up to Bayleys.
Oh, 5 states.
There you go. Got New York in there. Not a whole lot of news this week because the dealers are still selling like crazy. The campgrounds are all filled up. But there was a very interesting report, and I did post it up on Nervta, about the rise in increasing sales on pop-ups and folding campers. It's off the charts. The best sales year since 2004. And there were a lot of people who, were forecasting the demise of pop-ups and folding campers, but a lot of young couples, a lot of young adults, young families. So the pop-ups are coming back. That's your big breaking news story for the week, folks.
Well, pop-ups are coming back, and we should also tell people that we have a sponsor tonight, and that is Pete's RV Center. And we're going to find out specifically why Pete's is of particular interest to this particular show. But we do want to welcome Pete's RV Center in Vermont, in Massachusetts, Connecticut. There's a couple more states, but as far as New England is concerned, you can catch them in Burlington, you can catch them in Plainville. People wonder where Plainville is. Well, it's right near Foxborough, where the stadium is located, and also Windsor, Connecticut, which is convenient to both Hartford and Springfield. So we want to welcome Pete's. And if you want to find out what they have for a lineup, you just go to petesrv.com.
Yep, we welcome them, and we appreciate the sponsorship. We've known Chad for a number of years, his dad Terry and the family, the McGinnis guys. Great group of guys. They do a great job. They're artists. Yes,
I haven't even told you this, but we're going to bring Gaelan on in just a minute because he's standing by. Actually, he's in our green room.
Right. He's getting ready. And John froze. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop down my logo.
Driving
you froze. We didn't hear a word you said. You froze up. And I think we just lost him. So I'm going to bring Gaelan up because I can talk without John. Let's see what we have here. Hey, Gaelan. Welcome. Hey, fantastic. John will probably come back in here soon. Something happened. He may have had a little hiccup on there, but let's start by telling them a little bit about Bayleys. And this is your 50th anniversary year, which is always a significant milestone for any kind of a business. But in the outdoor hospitality business, that's significant.
Yeah, 50 years this year. Unfortunately, some of our celebrations have been hampered by the pandemic, but despite that, we're marching forward and having another good year. And everything started back in 1970 on July 2nd. My grandparents, Fred and Kathleen, started the business. They took a chance on an idea of a campground here in Maine, and funny story. My grandmother still has a note from one of the banks that she tried getting a loan from, saying that while they thought it was a good idea, they're going to pass at this time. And she's kept that note 50 years later. It's always a good note to pull out and have a good chuckle at once in a while.
I can't tell you the number of small business people that I know, including ourselves with my wife's business, who have similar notes and similar rejections. And, they couldn't see what the entrepreneurs could see, and they couldn't see what the industry had to offer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So how long have you been associated? Let me just see who else we got over here. Maria Galante's on. Good evening. Susan Carpenter, she's bragging. She says, I'm on time this week. So Susan usually is a little bit late. Don Pause is on, and Mark Polk, congratulations on the 50th anniversary. Okay, I think John has just found his way back into the studio. Okay, John, you're completely blank. You're black screen, so something blocking your camera or whatever.
Oh, hold on. Hold on.
That's all right. You be quiet for a minute. Gaelan's going to talk about his engagement with the company. There you go.
Hey, John.
Hi, guys.
Actually, John, I liked it better with the blank page up there.
What did I miss? I was all set to tell you my big story, and then the screen went blank.
Yeah.
And did you want to tell a story?
Yeah.
We had Gaelan talk about.
If Gaelan allows me, 30 seconds. I got my baptism under fire yesterday when I drove a 38-foot diesel pusher for the first time. I was helping a member dealer out get it to another location where it was rented for the weekend. And when we left at 3 o'clock, the weather was bright and sunny. At 3:15, that hurricane whose name I can't pronounce came up, and I'm driving on 290 and 146 with 45-mile-an-hour winds coming across one side, and then the other side, then torrential rain. And then I had to learn the difference between air brakes and conventional brakes. And it was pretty cool. So now I can drive anything.
That was the first time that you drove a big motorhome?
The big one like that. I've driven plenty of gassers, but those diesel pushers, Audrey will tell you, they give you a little bit different feel. So I can drive anything now.
Right. Jerry Plant just jumped on. He's with Major's RV down in the Cape, but he is on vacation this week up at
in Maine.
The Yonder Hill. Yonder Hill? Yeah.
Yonder.
Kayaking. So
hey,
we started how we got involved with the business. So we should probably let him tell us.
He was born into it. He didn't have a choice. He was born into it.
Back in the day when as a kid you thought working was the coolest thing in the world. I guess that's how you could say I got started in it. But right around age 7, that summertime, I jumped in, just started doing random things here and there. And a few years ago, even my grandmother gave me a copy of the check that she wrote for me. It was something like $3 or $4 for a bunch of hours, which seems terrible nowadays. But it was kind of just poking around, trying to be a part of the family business at a young age. And then age 9, really got more serious and started working in the store. Really loved math growing up, so store seemed like it worked well for me at the register. They had a milk crate for me to be able to stand up and see over the. I know it sounds cliche, but it's very true. Standing on a milk crate, doing all the math on a register and helping people out. But just from there, growing up in the business every summer, getting out of school and jumping right in, different positions throughout the years, doing anything from game room attendant to activity staff. And then, as I was getting older, being able to do more grounds work, helping build sites when we were doing the big expansion 15 years ago, into doing more things that were more responsible, I guess you want to say, and jumping into the office and really starting to become a part of the main part of the business.
So Gaelan,
jump back to the store.
Done everything.
Yeah, jump back to the store for a minute. There's a picture of the store. This is not just your average campground store. It's huge. Yeah,
I mean, it's what do I say? It's about 2,000 square feet. The front one. We actually have 2 stores on site. But you name it, we have a decent amount of groceries to your everyday camping items for RVs, tents, and whatnot.
Beer.
Yep. A lot of local beer. We support the local scene. We have some of the best beer in the country here in Maine and in the Portland area.
Do you have Rising Tide?
Oh yeah, we sure do. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And
another reason for me to come over.
Yeah.
Gaelan and I are only about 5 minutes apart tonight. But
I know, Bob. You should have been there.
Yeah.
Huh? Well, you know,
there.
Every time we go on site, we have issues. So we determined that this was probably the better way to do it. You've had more issues tonight than we have. So
yeah. And I've been there many times too. We've done so many videos. It's kind of like, this is crazy. We're in 3 separate locations, but
yeah.
You also, besides having a big store, you don't have the average registration area either. You got about 6 or 8 windows for registration, and the way you drive, I'll show an aerial afterwards, but the way your driveway's set up, you got plenty of room for a lot of big rigs and a lot of fifth wheels as they're coming in. But I think you added contactless registration this year.
Not added it, but pushed it more. We have this process called priority check-in, where if you have a zero balance, we'll send you a certain type of email that you can just show right at the gate on your phone. We have your passes and map and whatnot, receipts all made up for you, so you just get it right at the gate, and you can go right down to your site. And of course, with the pandemic, we've been pushing that more and more, just to keep people comfortable who wants to do any type of contactless stuff.
Well, plus it speeds up. It speeds up.
Absolutely.
Well, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the anticipation of when you pull around that corner, and then you know, probably about 200 yards away from the road is the check-in area.
Yep.
Everybody is anxious to get to their site, right?
Oh, definitely. Especially if you've been on the road for 3-4 hours with 3 or 4 kids in the back.
Yep. Exactly.
Let's talk about something else, because when I was doing some research today, a lot of people are going to remember that you had a major fire up there, and I went looking because I thought it was actually 2 or 3 years ago for some reason. Yet I was going by the night of the fire, and you've completely rebuilt your entertainment complex. But tell us about that. That was June 11th last year.
It was June 11th last year. It was a building that my grandfather in the late 70s actually built with a couple relatives of ours. And so that building has been around for a good chunk of the time that we've been open. And it's been renovated many times. It's gone from, restaurant to arcade to gift shop, your rec hall, back to an arcade. So it's been renovated a bunch of times, and we just had done another renovation the year before with all new kitchen stuff out back. We redid all the back of house to really make things more efficient. And then unfortunately, June 11th, a fire started on one of the pieces of equipment and took the building down real quick.
Now it's opened again. Now again, from a restaurant standpoint, and John, you should jump in here because John just did a big weekend with the kids up there. But you do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? Yeah,
that building does do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And with the rebuild, we started the menu off on the lighter side just to get everything going again, and mastering our new equipment. And now, as the season's going on, we've expanded the menu, and we're hoping to expand it a little bit more, probably in the fall or next year as well.
Well, I will tell you this: the pizzas are great.
Yeah, they're the best.
When I was up there in June when we talked, I said, "Do you use those pre-made pizza shells that you can get from Cisco and U.S. Food Service?" And you guys told me, "Nope, we are flipping our dough right here. We're hand tossing it, and you've got it on that conveyor belt oven, and that way it never gets burned." And two weeks ago when we were up there, we had the traditional pepperoni the first night, but what was the other one? Blue cheese and
there was the chicken bacon ranch pizza.
That's it, chicken bacon ranch. That was a darn good pizza.
Yeah, that's
a great pizza. Yeah,
chicken bacon ranch, and that's pretty cool. Hey, we should do this. Some night we'll have a special nerve night up there where Zagami and I will be in back flipping pizzas.
I like that. That sounds good.
Yeah. You'll be doling out the Jack Daniel's shots, and I'll be making pizza and stuff like that. We should do that.
He said he has beer. He didn't say Jack Daniel's.
There we go. That's my grandson.
So tell us about your time up there.
Well, we just had a blast, and originally we were going to do 2 weekends where we brought one set of kids one weekend and another set of kids the next weekend, because again, we had that Winnebago Vita that we were using. So we had access to 2 RVs. But then my daughter said, look, why don't we all go together? And I went like that. And my wife said, are we crazy? And we said, let's go for it. So we had 6 grandkids and, our 2 daughters and 2 sons-in-laws. And my wife, whatever that comes out to, what's that, 12 people?
12 people. Perfect dozen. Right.
We just had a blast. And we rented a golf cart with 3 sets of rows. I don't know if there's another spot there, but those are the girls. And I think they're in their Bayleys tie-dye T-shirts because they went
they buy them in the shop
night that they had. And let me tell you,
I have to say thank you to my wife. She just gave me a refill.
A refill. And the show's not half over and you're in a refill. So
she gave it to me early. No, she brought it in earlier tonight. No.
But I'll tell you, and Audrey can tell us, and anybody who's been out there camping, there is nothing like the campfire and watching the magic on the eyes of those kids. Bob, go back to my grandson there for a second, if you can find George again. He just had an absolute blast. And as soon as they got back, they said, when are we going again? There he goes. I mean, he's 2 years old, but look at that smile.
No, it doesn't look like he's having a good time at all.
Look at that smile with that little guy. And
that's a great smile.
Yep. So, but the other thing, Gaelan, that I found when I was there a prior weekend is that, you've been in business 50 years. I encountered several, not just 1 or 2, but several 3-generation families that were there. In fact, we were doing an interview with you and somebody came up behind you and said, I want to talk about this place. I forget their names, but they had that big diesel down in the, in the news section. But the mother said, the grandmother said, we came with her and pointed to her daughter who had 2 daughters.
Yeah.
So there's 3 generations and they're not even that old.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Yeah. And then the cookout. See the cookout with the picnic table. We took the 2 picnic tables and put them together. And kids actually ate. But Gaelan, here's my question to you. This is not about me. This is about you. What is it that you guys do that's special that gets 3 generations coming back? And they don't come for a weekend. They come for like weeks at a time.
Oh, the whole season.
What are you doing?
Yeah. I know we offer some of the best quality amenities around. Our location is a phenomenal location as well. But I think the biggest thing I do here is the family ownership. That we're not corporate owned. A lot of places in the area have turned that way, and we've acquired a lot of those families. They really enjoy that. They see my father, they see myself going around, keeping an eye on things, saying hi to people, shaking hands. Or at least when we used to be able to shake hands, but just that personal touch, and I enjoy that as well. It's not just a business thing, and especially this year, I really felt like it was important for my family to be able to open up the campground and get people back out trying to feel somewhat normal again during these crazy times.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I talked earlier about this is one of the best shots. I think I pulled this out of one of your videos, but you can see on the left-hand side the long lines of where you have people coming in. You got a big playground there, and that's your entertainment complex. But I like this because it shows how close you are to the water.
Yeah.
I mean, you really are close. What's interesting about your campground, sometimes you get a great campground, but it's not near anything. And sometimes you're near where you want to go, but they don't have a campground. I mean, you are in the heart of the Pine Point, Old Orchard Beach area, and that's probably less than half a mile as the seagulls fly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're half mile, and we have a couple of the trolleys that bring you right down to the beach, help save you on beach parking every day.
Right.
It's short trip. You can bike, you can walk. It's a real easy access to it.
There's a special feature about your trolley that is different than all the other campgrounds in the area. What is that special feature?
The special feature about our trolley.
4 letters. First one's a F. R.
Oh, That it's free. Yes. Yes.
Free.
Yeah.
Four-letter word that begins with F. It's a family show.
That's dangerous, DePietro.
The free trolley.
Yeah.
But you own them. I mean, they're yours for the campground, right? So you don't have to wait for somebody else's trolley to come by, right?
No, one of them we own, and that does 2 stops. The other one, we are one of the stops on the Old Orchard Beach town route. But
okay.
But the unique part of that is that we are the only stop out of the 20-something stops that is free for their patrons. Everyone else has to pay the $2 per person. But we've contracted with them, and any of our patrons get to ride for free, just like our trolley.
Yeah, and it's on time too. It's not like one of those that you say you're going to be there at 2:20 and it shows up at 2:35. And you know what? When you got 6 kids under 9 with you, you are watching every minute to make sure that trolley shows up. And they got off, and they went to Old Orchard Beach, and they love the pool, but with you guys, you kind of get best of both worlds because you've got the Atlantic Ocean right there.
Yeah, it's a split. You're able to relax and lounge around the pool, get some food or drinks, and do that atmosphere. Or if you want, do a day trip down to the beach and enjoy. The beach that we're a half mile from is Old Orchard Beach. We're on the northern end called Pine Point Beach, but it's 7 miles of beautiful beach that both towns do a phenomenal job keeping clean. And it's one of my favorite beaches, even though I know I live right around the corner from it. But I've been to plenty of other beaches, and I love Pine Point Beach.
Well, and that's one of the best kept secrets. Of course, the people in Maine know it, but people outside of Maine, till they get here, they don't realize, like you said, 7 straight miles of perfect sand between the pier at Old Orchard Beach and the Pine Point Beach area. 7 miles. So if you're going to like to walk your dog on the beach or run on the beach or something, you've got it. And you're right, they do keep it pristine in that area. You have a wide mix. I know Audrey's on here, and Audrey likes to go camping with a group of about 10 people and doing their own little mini rallies. But you have something for everybody from tents to you can take large diesel pushers. You have rental trailers and rental cabins. Do you do a lot of rally business or large?
Did you see Audrey's question?
I do see it. Yes. Yeah, we do rallies. I in fact had a very large Prevost rally last September. Had about 32 of them.
Wow.
And
Andy Parr, you're going to catch Andy Parr's attention on that. If you have Andy's had a Prevost, and if you're not old enough to probably remember Andy on NBC, he's the gadget guru. Was on the Today Show. Great commentator, great technology guy. But he's done a host of. Andy, if we knew, we could have brought you up here to do a presentation. All those people know Andy Parr. Does a lot of videos on Prevost and buying Prevost.
Well, Gaelan's only 34, and Andy, when Andy was on the Today Show, it was black and white, and Hugh Downs was the host.
And Hugh Downs, yeah.
He might have even been there. Andy, if you're still here, was Willard Scott the other man when you're doing your thing, or was it?
Yeah, Willard Scott was there. That was. Remind us, Andy, who was the weatherman when you were doing your stuff? So go back to talking about the rallies. We cut you off.
Yeah, we love hosting our large rallies, and like I was saying, we had that Prevost rally last year. Especially with our newer area that we developed in the last 15 years, we're able to host a couple hundred of those if we ever wanted to. It was quite the spectacle. A lot of our regulars were walking down there every day, talking with all the owners, saying, "Wow, what a display of rigs all in one area." But we're able to host other groups. I've got small motorhome groups from around New England, from Maine that will come in for a few nights. It's a little bit tougher in the summertime because it's tourist season, but in our off season, it's very doable.
Yeah, and Audrey, I think she travels with about 10 to 12 people.
Yeah.
But Audrey, you'd love it because that area there, when they say big rig friendly, that area is level, and there's an adult only pool and bar down there and hot tub. And you know what? If you don't have the little kids, There you go. See, Bob, right on cue, even though we didn't set that up.
We don't script it. We have no idea what either one of us is going to say. I just have a little bank of photos down there. But this is an amazing complex.
Yeah. And that is
immaculate. What that is.
Little River.
Yeah,
right?
the Little River complex. We built that in 2014. We kind of felt there was a need, even though we're a large family resort that caters to all ages. We felt like there was a need. We still get a lot of either couples or older couples, retired couples that might have the grandkids up for a couple days, but do just travel them too. And so we kind of felt that there was a need for something like this. And so we took a chance on it, on an area that we knew we couldn't convert into sites, and made this complex with a nice lounge pool and 2 hot tubs. And during the summertime, we do entertainment during the day, 3 days a week. And I'll tell you, in the summertime, you sit back, close your eyes, you don't even feel like you're in Maine. I'll even go there on a day off sometimes and just sit back and relax. It's a really nice area. And the biggest thing is you're not sitting there by the pool listening to Marco Polo all day.
No, they have.
Now you didn't let DePietro in there, did you?
I did. I snuck in, but they have live entertainment there, which is pretty cool. And they take requests, and it's not just piped in music; it's live. But also that band that you had on the Saturday night, they were doing tons of Eagles songs. They were great.
Yeah,
up in the pavilion. I don't know if that's not the right word, but in that enclosed area.
Yeah.
Right, which band is that? That's my wife's favorite band, the Eagles. Which band is it, and how often do you have them?
Well, they're called New Pooh's Band, and they play pretty much every Saturday during the summertime. We have them on Father's Day weekend. We have them Columbus Day weekend. It's a band that we've had for many years. They've kind of morphed with members over the years, but still the same type of music, and people love it. It's a good time. It usually packs the place this year. It's a little more spread out, but still plenty of people.
Yeah. We'll have to come over some Saturday. Do you have those up at down at the adult complex or up at the the entertainment complex?
Yeah, what we call the Seaside Square complex. Complex. That's where we are.
But the duo is down. The duo is down at the at Little River.
Yeah.
But you know what? Why don't we segue into Pete's? Because when we were there 2 weeks ago, we were right next to about 10 or 12 people from Rhode Island. We saw the Rhode Island plates, and then there were people right next to us. And as I talked to them, because they all come up to me and say, "Aren't you John DePietro?" Yeah, right. So as I talked to them, they said, "These aren't our RVs. These we just rent this." And I said, "Oh, those must be the ones for Pete's." And after they left on Sunday, I took a look inside, and a couple of those units have the bunk beds, and they can fit like 4 kids in the back room, and the big adult double bed or triple queen size, whatever it is up there, and ample space. I don't know, what are those, 28 feet, 30 feet?
No, they're 30. I think they're 36, 35, 36.
Okay, but they're good size.
We should say this is the Pete's commercial. So
this is
halfway back. So we're kind of morphing into talking about Pete's as our sponsor tonight. But go right ahead,
Bob. We're not more. Look, this is broadcast.
Right.
We don't morph. We segue. Andy, tell him this is segue. We're segueing into the break.
Oh, okay.
And we'll be back with more. Andy, here we go. We'll be back with more of Bayleys RV. But first, this is today on NBC. So this is Pete's. So we want to thank Pete's for our sponsorship tonight and let you know, folks, that you can see their trailers at Bayleys, but you can also see their much, much wider selection of Airstreams, Jaycos, towables, drivables, whatever you want to call them, at their 3 New England locations in Burlington, Vermont area, Plainville, Massachusetts, which is Foxborough, and also serves Boston as well as Cape Cod, and also in Windsor, Connecticut, which serves the Hartford, New Haven area, as well as Springfield, Mass. But again, another family-owned business. And, we always talk about Chad, but we need to talk about Nick. We need to talk about Randy. And a lot of people that I've been seeing RVing all over New England this weekend, this summer, have gotten their units at Pete's. And
well, one of the things that we like about them, number one, they're a big fan of NERV. They've been a member since day one. They're participated in the Boston RV show along with a lot of other RV shows. And as we always joke with Chad about, nobody works a show harder than Chad Shepard and his team. When we go to the show to set up, there's a lot of owners that, they show up when the show opens and everybody else has done the work, but they're kind of like you guys, Gaelan. They're right there every day, and Chad is on the forklift, and he's there with every customer. He knows the customers that come in. They look for him. They look for Randy. Randy's got millions of views on his technical videos on their YouTube channel. Scott runs the business on the back end. Todd McGinnis is over seeing the fixed operation stuff. It's just a real professional team, and they're always in there. The sales reps are in the yellow shirt, and Chad and the management team are in the white shirts. But they've got a great selection of product in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Vermont, and we thank them very much for being our sponsor this week.
And now, back to our regularly scheduled program.
Our regular programming.
Regularly scheduled program. So
Andy says it was Willard Scott who was there before.
Yeah, and then Al Roker came in, and he said Joe Garagiola was there as well. So
Audrey says she's got 20 units going to Pirate Land.
Already booked at Pirate Land. Okay.
Already booked at Pirate Land. All right, you got to look at Bayleys next year.
Okay. Well, look, Audrey, because the front end of your season was taken out by what do you call it? Circumstances beyond your control. You may want to consider having a fall weekend up at Bayleys so that you can talk about your spring weekend next April in Pirate Land.
And Audrey, if you do that, Audrey, John and I will come up and sign autographs.
Wow.
I'll make pizza. Bob will hand out. No,
we get pizza. We get pizza in the restaurant.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, if you do that, Audrey, NERV will buy the pizzas. How's that?
Wow.
Ooh, wow.
That good attraction? Huh?
What was that pizza? Gaelan, what was that pizza? Chicken
bacon ranch.
Chicken bacon
ranch. And you know what? They didn't skimp on the chicken, and they didn't skimp on the bacon. They were so good.
Yeah.
But the other thing that we were talking. Oh, Susan Carpenter's coming. Say, hey, maybe we can get a women's RVing thing up there.
We get an RV. Yeah, we could do.
Or get Janine to do
get the RV. Well, actually. Janine is probably coming up for a girl camper college the weekend of September 19th at Lee's, and maybe we could put her into, I don't know if she's going to bring her, girl camper is a big thing these days, Gaelan. It's a group of women that go out and they're happily married, but the husbands don't want to go camping or anything, and they tend to redo their units or get a vintage unit and do it. We could potentially tie that together. I'll talk to you separately on that. That might work.
Well, Bob, look, it might cost you some pizza because Audrey says we're looking at Bayleys for a small group as we speak. Had to cancel Tennessee and North Carolina. So,
well, that's good. I'll pay for pizza for that.
And Susan says we're doing a girl camp. Yep, sounds like a phenomenal destination. Don and Pat Hawes. Yeah, Jamboree in March.
When you look at all the other things, you got stuff on site, you got stuff on. There's really no reason, and I'm sure that you have a lot of people that show up, sign in, and don't leave the campground until they sign out because you got so many things for them to do. But like we said before, there's a lot in the area if they want to tour. This happens to be the salt marsh, and a lot of people like to go kayaking on the salt.
Bob, let me stop you on that because Audrey said we go kayaking and stuff like that, and I knew there was a thing. But Gaelan, right on your property, you don't even have to go out, to what's that other thing there off the road that goes to Route 1?
Yeah, the Audubon Society.
Yeah, but you can rent there, or if you own your own kayak, can you launch from your place?
Yes, yeah. Either way, if you bring your own canoe or kayak, or you can rent kayaks from us. We have
it's the kayak launch spot is even right down in somewhat close to the area where the big rigs go. And we were walking through with the kids, and they noticed them all down there, and they said, "Can we go?" I said, "Look, your mother can take you on that. I'm not going out in the kayak." But and where does it go? Does it go right out to the water, to the ocean?
It doesn't. It kind of winds its way through towards the ocean, but Route 9 East Grand Avenue, the road that connects down to Old Orchard Beach, is blocking it from the beach. But it's a really long, large area, estuary area.
Yeah.
And we have the only launch into it. So you will not encounter anyone else out there. The only people out there are people who are taking kayak trips from our campground.
Okay, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really nice.
And everybody's carrying kayaks today. You see all the travel trailers and even cars, the Subaru type people.
I saw a family show up with about 8 of them the other day.
Kayaks. Wow.
8 kayaks?
That's pretty wild. So Audrey said we've kayaked from there. So Gaelan, did you know that you'd have 2 group sales directors here working for you tonight?
I kind of had a hunch.
But the thing is this, folks, you got to understand that campgrounds have different personalities. And one of the interesting parts about this place, and there's a question, how many sites are there?
We have 740 sites.
Okay. So it kind of gives you, they're different areas, because you got the big rig area there, and then you've got the areas that are right closer to the center square. But if you want to be around the action, you can be around the action. If you want to be quiet, you can be up at the other end. But your campground has several personalities, including the capability to swim, to fish, a catch and release pole thing there, where my granddaughter caught a frog.
You're supposed to go for fish, John.
Yeah, I know, but she caught the frog. She was watching people fish, and then she caught the frog right on the shore.
How do you taste on a barbecue?
I don't. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Now, is that Gaelan's pond?
No, that one is Ashley Pond.
That's Ashley Pond. So you got, and you got a Gaelan pond there too.
Yep. Got a Gaelan pond and got a Troy pond, which is a cousin of mine as well.
It must be amazing when you look back at 50 years and you're 34, so you've seen a lot of these generations yourself. But to see, you can almost guarantee that little child there with the fishing pole will be camping by themselves there in another 15 or 20 years, right?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that's hitting home for me is kids that I hung out with every summer growing up, around my age, a couple of years off. Now I'm seeing them come with their kids, and even a couple of them have become seasonal in the last year or two. So that's really a unique thing for me to see is that, it brings back up a lot of memories of what we used to do many summers when I was a kid, and it's amazing to see that they're here with their kids now.
Yep. Talk about your the season, not seasonal, but the rental trailers and the cabins, and how popular they are, and what direction you're going in with those.
Yeah, thanks to Pete's RV being the sponsor of the show. We've been in a relationship with them for a very long time, multiple decades, going back to my father and my grandparents know Chad and Terry very well.
Yep.
We've been purchasing and renting out our trailers through Pete's RV for many years, and it's a great program for people who don't own an RV and just want to camp a couple times a year, and another great way to introduce people to camping, where they've heard all about it. All their friends camp. They don't want to plunge, spend the money yet because they don't know what they're getting into. So it's a good test drive for their family to be able to rent for a weekend or a week and see what it's like. And so it's a great way to get people out camping, no matter what their status is. And same thing with the cabins too. We started doing the cabins in 2010, and they've been a big hit for us. They're our most luxurious unit. They're not a simple cabin. They've got heat, AC, cable TV, full-size kitchen appliances, full-size bathroom. They sleep up to 6 to 8, screened-in porch, you name it. So they're beautiful units, and just another great way to go camping if you don't own anything.
Well, plus they're in a good location too.
Go ahead, John.
Well, they're in a good location too because you've got a paddle boat over that area. You got another pool over there. You got another store over there. So it's not like they've got to schlep across 500 spots to get to the pool. They've got their own pool.
Yeah, as we've developed that back area into the big rig area the last 15 years, I feel like we've done a great job of adding more amenities to balance it out in the campground. Yeah. So, everybody doesn't have to come up to the front to use the pool, to the store, or the restaurant. There's another restaurant in the back of the campground with the big rig area. So you've got 2 more pools, 2 more hot tubs. You've got activity area for the kids, those bike rentals, mini golf, paddle boats, fishing ponds. You name it. So it's a good balance between the property. People really have their choice of where they want to go.
Now, don't you find too that a lot of people, when they're trying to get people interested in the RV lifestyle, so you might have a motorhome and 2 kids, and somebody else wants to go camping, so they might rent the trailer or the cabin, and then all of a sudden, next year they become one of your customers because they went out and bought an RV.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's that's a great way of looking at it. It's a great way to introduce people who don't have the opportunity and pique their interest if it's something that their family enjoys doing.
You know what? Interestingly, that's exactly what happened in our situation, where across from us there was a family that had their own RV, but they had some cousins that came and rented one. And then, that was Friday night. Then on Saturday afternoon, they came over to us and said, "Hey, what is this, that new Winnebago Vita that we had?" And again, I couldn't let them in because of the COVID stuff, but I had brochures with me. And these guys, the father said, "You know what? My kids are bugging me to buy one now. And we had so much fun last night that I think we're going to get one." And, like you said, you introduce people to camping, and as Jim Rogers, the former CEO of KOA, used to say, the magic is in the campfire. And you guys got campfire, and you got good wood too.
Yeah.
Hey, Maria's got a serious question. I'm not sure. Can you see it, Gaelan, or should I read it?
Yep.
What does she mean, do you think?
Can you
about the 45-foot fifth wheel?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the area you want to go. If you're, when you say out back, that's our big.
She meant can you? I bet she means park in the area out back. Okay, yeah. So where would she go?
Yeah, if she's looking, those are the sites that you want to be.
Just to the left, right near the fishing pond.
Yeah, really anywhere down in the back. Looking at our site map, you'll see it's kind of the second half of the site map. But it's any of the site numbers from 200s to 800s is what we consider our big rig area. So they're all just about all of them are a minimum of 50 feet wide, 50 feet deep. Most of them are bigger than that. Full hookup, 50 amp electric. That's the place to be.
And they're not jammed in there.
No, not at all. No,
not a 50 by 50. No. That's social distancing That's perfect social distancing.
Yeah.
Don says,
not jamming at all.
Don says, yeah, Don's right. They tell 2 people, and they tell 2 people, and the other tell 2 people. That's right.
So, Gaelan, how about activities? Because some people like them and some don't. But I remember a good number of kids' activities, not overwhelming, but enough to do if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of stuff for the kids. We've got 3 playgrounds on site. We have scheduled activities program that goes on every day. And in normal years, it's anything from arts and crafts to sports to anything like that. This year, we've had to change it around a little bit for social distancing and stuff like that. But on top of that, we've got a kids hot tub. So a lot of places have hot tubs that are 18 years and older, but we've got a hot tub that kids can go into as well. So yeah, a lot of stuff for the kids. And then you're showing a picture of the arcade. We actually have 2 arcades on site as well, and top of the line games. They're all brand new, awesome games.
Yeah, I will admit one of my granddaughters got admonished for don't go underwater in the hot tub, and she said okay, and then did it again. So she wasn't trying to be fresh. That's just her nature because she's Chrissy's daughter.
Just takes after her grandfather. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. But they love it. They love the hot tub, and like I said, they love swimming at night. That was the cool thing because the pool's open till what, 9 or 9:30, something like that.
It's open till 10. And a couple years ago, I finally was able to convince my pool guy to install LED lights in there, so we can really make them look really cool at night too.
Yeah.
You're doing fireworks too, right? Can you still do fireworks?
Yeah, we did fireworks over the 4th of July, and we're hoping to do some more. Possibly maybe like a Labor Day weekend or a couple more times. We're looking into it now.
Now, I think it's important to say that, you are still enjoying high occupancy, but Old Orchard Beach is like Miami Beach for the Quebecers.
Yeah.
That would become coming to Old Orchard Beach every year. Bob, you could always tell them at Old Orchard Beach because they were the guys with the Speedos, right? But they can't come this year. So, anybody watching this show should always check. Right. And like Mark Kep from Campground Views told us, always call on the day that you want to go, even though the website may say sold out, because there always are cancellations. So you might have some prime spots available this year that wouldn't be in August of prior years. Yeah,
definitely. We've been able to fit people in more so last minute, just based on the Quebecers not being here. Our occupancy has been a little bit lower than years past. It's still pretty strong. I think really strong as far as the pandemic's going. But yeah, I've been able to fit people in last minute into some of the premium sites where in years past we haven't been able to.
Yeah.
Now you also rent golf carts because the place is so big, right?
Yeah. We have 2 size golf carts, as you see in the picture, 4-seat, and then we have a 6-seat. For a bigger family or maybe a couple of families that want to split one. It's a great way to get around the campground. Sitting on 200 acres, sometimes it can be a little exhausting walking around it.
Right. But we should say it's not advisable to put 10 adults on a 2-seater.
Probably get you thrown. It'll probably get you thrown out, right?
John, were you there that day when we had
Yeah, we won't talk any further about that. But you know what? And that was a daytime. It's not even like they were at night.
Yeah. I don't think there was any beverages involved. I think it was just a couple guys being a little goofy.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin joined us. We haven't seen Kessler yet, but
Kessler has the count. Hi, Kevin.
And I think it's important also to point out about the golf carts. These are either brand new or late model, but they're not like some places you go to and rent a golf cart and you have to say a rosary before the thing will start.
No, these are all we've purchased all Yamaha golf carts last year and this year. So they're either brand new or 1 year old, and they've got this quiet technology. A lot of times you can't even tell if they're running. They're so quiet.
But the horns are good.
Yeah.
Right?
They can be. But a funny little fact as well, our Yamaha rep, the regional rep, told us this spring that we are officially the largest Yamaha fleet in New England.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Good. Yeah. This is your entertainment complex. Now, I'm sure it's not as crowded these days because you have to do a little social distancing, but that's right down by the Little River. No, that's the seaside.
That's the seaside, the front one. That's where we do our major entertainment at night. So those are the bands, the hypnosis show, the juggling acts, the magicians, karaoke, DJ dance party.
And they stay right in the pool. A lot of families stay right in the pool and watch the show from the stage.
Yeah. It's a really, I think it's a really unique atmosphere where you're able to watch a show traditionally, or you can swim and watch the entertainment, or sit right by a restaurant and hang out and eat, or have a couple of drinks while watching it. It kind of gives you a little of everything.
Sit right out of the cabins. But plenty of stuff for the kids. What are they doing there?
So some sort of some race activity. It's some inflatable horse that they're bouncing on.
So 50 years, and you've been there, like you say, running around there since you were 7 years old.
Yeah.
What are some of your more memorable events that you recall over that time?
That don't involve law enforcement.
Yeah, I was gonna say those are the ones that really stick out.
That are family friendly, you know.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's just the people over the years. You know, it's so many good families that we've had year in year out from all over New England, all over Canada. I have a lot of personal relationships. You know, I have text conversations with campers that you know a lot of places. You know, you're not texting the people who own the place that you stay at, but you know, it's just a really unique atmosphere to grow up in. And it's made me who I am. I'm very proud to be a third generation member, and hope to carry it on to my two sons as well.
And who are how old? Like 2 and 3?
Are 3.5 and 2.
Yeah, because I met them down at the pool.
Yeah,
down at the other pond down at the other end. But I think it's important to say that your grandparents are there every day, you know, golf carting around the facility and saying hello to people.
Yeah, they're not in the day-to-day operations anymore, but they're you know, they know so many people from 50 years that they still make their way through every day and either wave or say hi to people they know, and you know, like to keep tabs on my father and I as well.
And you let them in on a discount, right?
We try to.
But I think that's one of the things, the few times I've been over this year, I think one of the things that impressed me the most is that when we're interviewing you or your dad or just sitting there socializing, it's almost like you do know everybody. It's almost like a big family, and it is a big family. I mean, if you got 700 sites, and I mean, on any given day, you could have, let's see, if you had 4 people per site,
3,000 people.
Yeah, 3,000 or 4,000 people on site every day. But a lot of them come up and say hello. They know who you are. They know your dad. They know everybody there. But they also know a lot of the other campers, because campers are very friendly people. So they're meeting these other families, and they schedule it. I know we used to do it when we were out there with our kids, and you know, we would schedule vacations based around when the other family that we met at a particular campground was going to be there, because the kids have a good time. And I know John's grandkids get along well with Walter Swenson's kids, who
Yep.
you know is with the Good Sam chapter, and they get together at some of the Good Sam rallies. So the kids like yourself, when you were there working at 7 and 9 years old, those kids that you were swimming with, and now you're good buddies, and they come back every year. That's just a tremendous story.
Yeah, it is. It's that's another interesting aspect to see is people from different states. You know, one family could be Pennsylvania, one could be from Maine, and they know each other through the campground and book the same times every year just so they can meet up. It's a cool thing.
Now, you've got a very interesting deal. I don't know if it's all summer long or just June and July, but if you go up and rent on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever it is, on one weekend, you can leave the trailer there, right?
We do.
Or is that not in?
Yeah, we do that in the spring and fall months.
Okay.
Yep. So
with that.
Yeah, so you're able to keep it on site, and you can do weekend to weekend, how many ever weekends you want to do in a row in our spring or fall seasons. It allows you to kind of feel like you're a semi-seasonal. Don't have to haul the thing back to your front yard every weekend. It's just a good opportunity to get people out more and more on the weekends before the summer hits.
So you leave it on the site, not like Myrtle Beach, where the Myrtle Beach campgrounds pull them off into a storage area, and then you call them ahead of time and say you're coming, and they'll bring it and set it up. So you leave it right on site?
We have both options. So in the spring and fall, just because in the shoulder seasons, we're not at full occupancy at any given time. So we allow them to keep it on site. They can keep it plugged in. It's a $10 charge. They can keep the fridge going all week, whatnot, and just check back in on the next Friday, and stay. We also have that other option where more in the summertime, if people are coming 2, 3, 4 times in the summertime and don't want to haul it back, we do have a storage lot with a moving option as well.
That's an amazing feature. I've been camping for 40 years, and I don't think I've ever run into that.
Well, it beats haul. If you live in Connecticut and going there, you have to haul it to Connecticut every weekend and take it back, leave it there, go home in your car or truck or SUV, whatever it is, and for $10, you come back. You know what? You deal with that traffic on 495 or 95, and then you get there and you're already set up.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Which is pretty cool. So Jerry said, great show. And now I have a new place to take the grandkids next year. Jerry, save yourself about, 2 hours? How far is Skowhegan north of you? An hour and a half?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I want to say an hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. And the tolls and the potential traffic and et cetera. And effectively, when those new tolls come in, you'll be able to go nonstop.
Yeah.
You didn't finish his sentence. He said, just don't put me next to John and his grandkids. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, no. That's Susan. Great. I live in Maine, so I'll have to put this on my must-go list. Just don't put me next to John and his 6 grandkids. Yep. Thanks, Susan. But you know what? We got to get Sandy up there before the year is over because
maybe RVWA could do an executive management team meeting up there and planning session for next year. They could come up in the fall, and we could do an RVWA meeting. But then all the executives can come up to Bayleys and do a little planning session. Frank says family owned is best. Sadly, one campground on the Cape Cod sold out, and it just wasn't the same. I bet you mean Peter's Pond. So we found another one in that was his family owned. Name sounds like a nice option. Bring your Airstream up here, Frank. It's not that far away. Kathy says, looks like 2021 for us. Riney, great show. Always, Riney. Come back again. Do you have any cruises planned, Riney, or you're still in limbo? I don't think they're
cruising until the end of October now.
Right. Yeah. All right. Susan says I would love that, so we'll just have to work on getting the ladies up here. So we got RVWA, we got Audrey's rally, we got your little business tonight.
Okay, hold on. Hold time out.
Time out what?
Time out to one. We're talking like it's Columbus Day weekend. It's only the first weekend in August. We still have all of August, all of September, half of October, and after September 1st, we don't know if the kids are going back to school.
Yeah,
we still don't know what that.
They can add something else to their activities up at the campground, and you can do some remote learning activities for them.
Even if they don't want to schlep their trailer up there, rent one of those Pete's trailers. They're either 1 year old or brand new.
Yeah, we don't keep them for more than 2 years. 2 years, 2 seasons is the most, and they get sold after that.
Yeah,
so it's brand new or 1 year old.
Yeah.
Well, look, I told you we try to cut it right at 8. Like I said, we could probably go for a couple more hours. We want to thank Pete's RV in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Vermont for sponsoring the show tonight. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Nick. Great team of guys. Go to petesrv.com and see all their websites, see all their inventory. And Gaelan will give you the last word, but then John will jump in anyways, no matter what.
Yeah, just want to say thank you very much, guys. Thank you to Pete's RV for sponsoring the show. Thanks, Bob and John, for having me on. This is my first ever live Q&A hour-long thing. Hope it went well. But
you handled it like a pro.
Appreciate everybody who is watching us live and who will watch us, down the road. Hopefully we can provide a lot of family fun for your family in the future.
What do you have to say,
Joe? Be on my radar for sure. Actually, John is right. The wife and I are trying to figure out where to go in September. There you go. Andy, good night for NBC News. Did Andy ever say that? He must have been on the news at one time.
That was Today Show. I don't think he was on NBC News. I think it was just the Today Show.
I know, but there might have been a guru segment where he was on with Huntley and Brinkley.
Well, that's Huntley and Brinkley, maybe.
Yeah,
I thought that was Huntley and Brinkley were ABC.
No, they weren't.
They weren't?
Nope.
Well, he'll remind us if it isn't.
No.
All right, folks, we will see you again next week, Wednesday night. Gaelan, thanks again. Say hello to your dad. Say hello to everybody over at Bayleys.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys down the road.
Thank you, guys.
See y'all.